Welcome back to Video Underground. We have an action-packed show for you today. Well, maybe not action-packed, but we have all the latest news and highlights from the world of music.
Also this week, we'll take a look at the top 10 worst movies musicians have starred in, as well as some interviews with performers at KZoo Fest. We have a lot to show you today, so let's get started. Making the Band creator, Puff Daddy, announced there would be a Bad Boy reunion concert in Brooklyn for the late Notorious B.I.G. While the show sold out in 7 minutes, not everyone was happy.
Tiana Wallace, Biggie's daughter, decided to air her grievance with P. Diddy via Twitter. Wallace mentioned that even though the concert is supposed to be in memory of her father, she has yet to get her ticket. She also mentioned that Puffy Combs haven't exactly been in communication with her family and does nothing to help them.
This animosity was short-lived, as Wallace later tweeted, "She talked with Puffy and cleared everything up and everyone can calm down."
Two legendary performers come in at number 10. Michael Jackson and Diana Ross starred in the movie The Wiz. Now, many thought this take on The Wizard of Oz would do everything it could to show off the talents of Michael Jackson, but he has like one song. This movie was a waste and a disappointment to many. Before he was making Argo and kicking butt as Batman, someone tricked Ben Affleck into making a movie called Geely with Jennifer Lopez. Now, listen, J-Lo was great as Selena, but Geely is one of the worst movies of all time, and it probably caused Ben Affleck and J-Lo to get a divorce. Okay, I made that last part up, but would you really be surprised? This movie had a pretty interesting idea. It's just too bad it was executed so poorly, and Justin Timberlake was also not very convincing as the underdog. How am I supposed to relate to the guy who made Sexy Back? This movie would be higher on our list if Timberlake didn't bounce back with The Social Network, where he showed his range by playing a rich guy. Ice Cube shows up next on our list in the movie Ghosts of Mars and Anaconda. First of all, congratulations on the Hall of Fame, Cube. You deserve it. Now, what were you thinking? You made Friday, dude. Now you're fighting ghosts on Mars and giant snakes in the Amazon? We forgive you, but let's avoid this in the future. You know, Jennifer Lopez was also an Anaconda. Darn it. In Employee of the Month, we get Dane Cook and Jessica Simpson, who play retail coworkers who fall in love. I wonder if the person who pitched this idea ever got another job. It pretty much killed Cook and Simpson's career.
Just weeks before his next album is released, Drake gave us all a little taste of what to expect. Drake treated us all with access to 2 new songs, Pop Style and One Dance. You can find the songs on Apple Music for about $1.25 each.
Just like Kanye West, Drake is choosing to release on an exclusive basis. However, this time, Apple Music will be the beneficiary. There's no word if this will be a timed release and if it will hit other services. Views from the 6 is set to hit the virtual shelves on April 29th. When Beyoncé isn't upsetting people with her music video Formation and amazing others with an incredible halftime performance at the Super Bowl, she has to deal with companies using her likeliness to make a buck.
This was the case for Fayonce, a company that sells clothing and other items, as the Queen Bee is telling the company to stop using her fame to promote their products. While on the outside this looks like posturing by the superstar to protect her copyright, things become a bit clearer when they see Fayonce was actually selling mugs that said he put a ring on it. While doing an interview for Batman vs. Superman, Ben Affleck found himself at the center of internet stardom. When his co-star Henry Cavill was asked if they were disappointed in the lack of positive reviews from critics, Affleck can be seen drifting into a pool of sadness.
So of course the internet quickly put the Sound of Silence by Simon and Garfunkel over the video and created what should be a classic meme. When The Sound of Silence first released in 1966, it was on top of the Billboard Hot 100, and with its recent popularity, the song is currently at number 6.
Oddly enough, Sound of Silence is also at number 3 as the band Disturbed plays an amazing cover of the hit on the Conan O'Brien Show. The song is also featured on their new album, and it's pretty amazing that 50 years later, this song has found some new relevance.
Hi everyone, it's Emily. Today Allie and I interviewed some awesome bands at Music Fest, so be sure to stay tuned for simply amazing artists. So how has your guys' music changed since you guys started making music?
Mine just gets better. His kind of stays the same. It's not really, go ahead and talk to you.
Yeah, unknown artist. I think as I get older, I mean, as anybody gets older, you go through different life experiences, and you just grow up, and you don't look at stuff the same way that you did when you're younger. So as I grow older, my music progresses, or I feel like I put a lot more thought into my music. Now, I got so many different inspirations. I mean, watching, I'll say, for instance, Tech Nine, watching his independent hustle, how he did things, it was inspiring to, do what I do. Actually, yeah, this fool did inspire me to do, because he was one of the MCs I watched come up, and his performing style was super filthy. Kind of, got a little of my style from him, so.
Oh, thank you, man. Thank you.
I'm lying. But,
Tell the truth.
but no, there's a lot of old, I'll say old, a lot of old rappers, and even from, I could say, from Tech Nine to Gregory Hines, I have a whole bunch of different inspirations, so. A lot of different people in the world. You can find my music at iamjarvd.com, also on Apple Music, SoundCloud.com/jarvd. All those places.
We've been making music together for about 5 years now.
And how has your music evolved since you first started making it?
It hasn't.
So what would you say is the inspiration of your guys' music?
Liam Downey's Extreme Spills inspires me. It's an Instagram run by Liam Downey.
And have you guys been here in Pullman before, or where do you guys usually tour?
Well, we were in Pullman exactly 1 year ago, I believe, to this day. And it's great to be back. It's always been really fun. Kids out here are crazy. They know how to have fun. They know how to do it right. And they have fun when So Pitted comes to town. It's great. We just got back from a European tour, and we went to Austin, Texas for South by Southwest. And then we went to Idaho for Treefort Fest, and we did a show in Spokane and Missoula, Montana. And then we came back for a couple days, and now we're here. And then tomorrow we play in Tacoma. So that's where we've been in the past 2 months.
So you guys have traveled a lot. And where can fans find your music?
Bandcamp's great. You can always find good music at Bandcamp. Where else? Spotify. YouTube. I guess Sub Pop has our album. YouTube. The whole thing's free on YouTube. Our videos are on YouTube. You can Google us, So Pitted Band. That usually gets you where you need to go.
Buy our album, Neo. It's out on Sub Pop now. If we sell 10,000 of them, we start making money.
Seattle's not as big as some people would think it is, if you do music and you do quality music, the right people will hear it, you know what I mean? And it's small, so it's a friend of a friend or a cousin of a cousin, so we all link and we all have that one mutual thing, which is music, good music in a certain genre almost, even though we're 13 different minds, we all have the same thought pattern. So we just came together in the city and went hard.
So for the viewers at home, where can they reach, or what platform can they find your music?
You could go to camthemac.com. That's CAMTHEMAC, Cam spelled backwards.com. SoundCloud Cam the Mac, YouTube Cam the Mac, and Google Cam the Mac, and you might find a little secret something in there, you know what I mean? It's the internet, so they always got you secretly somewhere.
So be sure to visit Camden Mac, and thank you so much for doing this interview with us. Make sure you guys search him because they're really amazing. So thank you so much.
It appears Zayn Malik wasn't messing around last month when he said he wanted to be more than a one-hit wonder. His debut album, Mind of Mine, is setting records in the UK.
Zayn is the first artist since Susan Boyle to have their debut album on top of the charts. In other news, One Direction also released a new album, but they peaked at number 2, which was the first album the group has made that is totally Zaynless. I've always been a huge fan of Zayn Malik, and I was so excited for this album release. After coming out of One Direction, I was expecting this album to be much more pop-esque, but the R&B vibes I get from the songs show he's done with his boy band days and successfully making music of his own.
Typically, when I listen to new songs, I tend to listen to the more popular ones before checking out the entire album. Songs like Pillow Talk and Like I Would ended up being the first little taste of Zayn that I got.
I really like the upbeat hits Pillow Talk, Before, Like I Would, and Wrong, which features Kehlani. My favorite part of this album is that it really showcases his singing talent through music that is more true to his personal style than that of One Direction.
I mean, he has an amazing voice, which totally enhances the catchy hooks he has in several songs in the album. I really enjoyed how he steered away from the super cheery teen pop style and went for a more down-tempo R&B feel.
I love a song that can get me thinking and kind of evoke some sort of emotion. This album definitely had that tone. However, some of the songs had a lukewarm ballad, and in a sense, they didn't really follow the tone and consistency of the rest of the album.
However, those little stumbles weren't enough to pull down the album because overall it was lyrically amazing. There's so much story and depth that went into the making of Mind of Mine, you can really feel it through each track. This album gets a solid 3 out of 5. The most unlikely reunion in rock music was almost derailed when Guns N' Roses frontman Axl Rose broke his foot during their surprise show at the Troubadour in Los Angeles last weekend.
While at first this may seem like an elaborate plot twist from Axl to just derail the tour before it even begins so he no longer has to be in the same arena as Slash and Duff McKagan, Axl actually managed to carry on with a little help from none other than Dave Grohl from the Foo Fighters.
Proving once again to maybe be the nicest guy in music, Dave Grohl lent Axl Rose his throne that was used on the last Foo Fighters tour after he had broken his own leg. All of the Guns N' Roses shows are staying on schedule, meaning that the reunion hasn't imploded yet.
This movie exists. Seriously, the Spice Girls made a movie about themselves and it was awful. I now hate the 90s. Okay, at some point before she went crazy, Britney Spears decided to make a movie called Crossroads. A critic on Rotten Tomatoes declared this movie a stinker from top to bottom. You're too kind. Far too kind. Someone thought Vanilla Ice was going to be a fixture in American pop culture, and he got his own movie called Cool as Ice. Now, this movie had everything to appeal to teenagers in the early 90s, bad haircuts and dirt bikes. Unfortunately, Vanilla Ice can rock a mic like a vandal, but he can't act to save his life. Rihanna has done some really great things for her fans. Starring in Battlefield isn't one of them. This movie, based on a board game, was hoping it could ride the coattails of Transformers, but that clearly wasn't the case. Now, I know Rihanna isn't an actress and she didn't make any of the decisions as far as production goes, but my goodness, did she really need the money? This movie should make everyone angry. The combination of Snoop Dogg, Method Man, and Kevin Hart somehow wasn't able to save this bomb. Honestly, I'm glad Snoop Dogg is creating quality content now because he owes us after this one.
Well, that's all the time we have for you today. I'm Sonia Lozano.
I'm Allie Smith.
I'm Mari Connor. Don't forget to tune in next week for the exciting conclusion of Video Underground.